Hello students and welcome back to Notebook. Today our lesson is on understanding secularism. Have you ever met anyone who has complained against discrimination based on his or her religion? You might have heard stories about restaurants refusing services based on someone's religion, or house owners not allowing tenants from a different religion. We see such discriminations running from a micro to a macro level. Even if we look back, we see that history has its own share of discriminations based on religious differences. During Hitler's regime, several millions of Jews were oppressed and killed, which still holds the deepest scars in the pages of history. Even in the current global scenario, we find discriminations based on religious differences. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, the State of Israel, Iraq are a few to name. The mitigation of all the religious differences can broadly be termed as secularism. To be more precise, secularism is a system of belief or idea that disapproves religion or religious considerations as a part of the affairs of the state. Do you know when was India declared a secular state? With the 42nd Amendment of the Constitution of India enacted in 1976, the preamble to the Constitution asserted that India is a secular nation. The two basic pillars of the Indian concept of secularism are religious freedom for all and the separation of state and religious powers. Can you tell us why is it important to separate religion from state? Let's understand it this way. Imagine a situation where a country has multiple religious groups and the group in majority has access to state power. So, definitely this group will tend towards influencing state power with their choice of religion. So, democracy takes a backseat if religion is not separated from state. Also, individuals need the freedom to exit from one religion, embrace another religion, and to interpret religious teachings differently. Coming back to India again to understand secularism. India is a secular state as per the mandate of the Indian Constitution. One religious community has no right to dominate a different religious community. Members belonging to the same religious community should not dominate each other. The state here can neither enforce any specific religion nor can it take away the religious freedom of the citizens. To add to your knowledge, Indian state has adopted 3 strategies to prevent the domination of one religious community on the other. Let us find out those strategies in detail. First, it uses the approach of separating itself from religion. Indian state does not support any one particular religion. If you have noticed, government spaces like government schools and offices, courts or police stations are not allowed to promote or display any one specific religion. Also, you must have noticed Sikhs wearing turbans and not using helmets while riding bikes or scooters. Do you know why? Because they are exempted in the Motor Vehicle Act 1988 from compulsorily wearing a headgear. This is the second way our Indian secularism works. A non-interference strategy where it claims to respect the sentiments of all religions and also not to interfere with any religious practices and beliefs. Thus, it approves of certain exceptions. But sometimes exceptions do not work and the state needs to interfere. This is the third strategy we are talking about. The state intervenes in the religious matters to put an end to the societal practice that believes in discrimination and violation of fundamental rights of lower caste who are also the citizens of the country. However, intervention has also been executed in the form of support. This works best with granting rights to any religious community to establish their own educational institutions. Do you know that unlike in the Western countries where secularism was derived mainly out of the conflict between the church and the state, secularism in India was perceived as a structure that sustained religious and cultural diversity. You will also find the objectives of Indian secularism quite similar with countries like the United States of America. The US Constitution also states that neither the state nor any religion can intervene in the affairs of one another. However, there is a significant difference between secularism practiced in the United States of America and secularism. The Indian state does intervene in the religious affairs just as it did in the Hindu religious practices to ban untouchability. Can you name any other country where the law had played an important role in religious matter? France is one such country which had passed a law in February 2004 to ban students from wearing any religious or political signs and symbols such as skull cap, Christian crosses or Islamic headscarf. We hope by now you have grabbed the understanding of secularism fairly well. Mahatma Gandhi said, "I do not expect India of my dreams to develop one religion, that is, to be wholly Hindu or wholly Christian or wholly Muslim, but I want it to be wholly tolerant, with its religions working side by side with one another." With that, we come to the end of our video lesson. See you soon in our recap and question and answer video. Goodbye.